All right, welcome everyone. Welcome to yoga. And we're going to start seated today. So go ahead and find a seat. If you feel more comfortable sitting up on a bolster or even just a thinly folded towel for a little lift in the hips, go ahead and grab that. I like to sometimes move the sort of fleshy part of the legs and butt aside so that I can really feel that connection with the ground and with my sit bones. So when you find that, go ahead and sit up nice and tall. Find any little bit of movement that you might need, maybe wiggling the fingers and toes, and gently rotating the wrists, maybe nodding the head gently up and down, or turning it side to side. And when you feel like you've had enough little movements to begin to connect to the body in this space, go ahead and find stillness. And allow the eyes to soften or to close. If you're not comfortable closing the eyes today, just go ahead and drop the gaze to the floor a few feet out in front of you. And beginning to notice your breath. Noticing if the breath is feeling tight today, if it's feeling nice and smooth and even. And do your best to not attach any particular meaning to the way your breath is flowing today. So, not thinking about the way that the breath should be, just noticing the way that it is right now in this moment. Beginning to notice the first place that you feel the breath in the body. So maybe you feel a change of temperature around the nostrils or across the top of the upper lip. Maybe you feel that temperature change in the back of the throat. Maybe you feel the gentle rise and fall of the chest or the belly or even the shoulders. Really beginning to connect to the sensation of the breath as it moves through the body. And beginning to gently deepen the breath, lengthening each inhale and exhale. Allowing the belly to rise and fall a little bit more now. And creating this rhythm for us to follow for our whole practice. And the breath is the foundation of everything that we do in yoga. So, really feeling that connection, reminding yourself that if you lose that connection to the breath, you can always pause and come back to it at any time. Give yourself 3 more deep, full belly breaths here, nice and slow. Maybe setting an intention or a dedication for your practice if it feels right. Remembering that this can be to anyone or anything that feels right to you in this moment. It is just for you. Give it one more deep breath here, sealing in any intention or dedication. And then slowly beginning to find some movement again in the fingers and the toes. Maybe the wrists. Allowing the eyes to open if they're closed. And let's go ahead and inhale, reach the arms up. And exhale, just float them back down to the mat, nice and slow. And inhale to reach, really reach through each fingertip. And exhale, release them down. One more time. Inhale, reach. And exhale, release. And let's take the forearms together in front. So if you can't touch your forearms together, that's okay. Just take them as close as possible. Elbows are touching, palms are touching. And we're going to lift the elbows as far as you can while still keeping the forearms touching or really close together. And when you can't keep them close together, can't lift any higher, then go ahead and open them wide, elbows still bent, and then squeeze the elbows down, squeeze the shoulders together. Let's do a couple more rounds. Inhale, arms come together and lift. Exhale, open and squeeze. Two more. Inhale together and up. Exhale, open and squeeze. Last time. Inhale together, lift. Exhale, open wide and squeeze them down. And go ahead and shake the arms out if you need to. All right. So let's slide the left hand out next to us on the mat. We're going to take a gentle side bend to the left. So sweeping that right arm up and over, trying to keep that right hip, that right sit bone, that connection to the mat. You can look up towards the ceiling if that feels okay. On the neck, you're thinking about opening the chest, or you can look down towards the floor or even straight ahead, maybe a more neutral position for the neck. Take one more breath here. And then slowly come back up. Let's do the other side. So slide that right hand out this time. Inhale, send the left arm up and over. Keep that connection of the sit bone, that left sit bone. Think about rotating the chest up towards the ceiling. And again, you can look up or you can look straight ahead or even down. Each side is different, so really checking in with your body, with your breath. If you feel like you're holding the breath, or if the breath is shallow, maybe come out of this a little bit. Take one more breath here. And then slowly come back up. Let's take a twist. So we're going to take the right hand to the left knee or thigh. Left hand's coming behind that left hip. Sit up nice and tall here through the spine. Hug the belly button in. And then we're going to take the chin back over to the right first. Breathing wherever you are. Keep that nice tall length in the spine. Hugging the belly button in towards the spine helps to find that lift. And then nice and slow, take the chin back through center, all the way over to the left. Take one more breath wherever you are. And then slowly release. If you're sitting cross-legged, go ahead and switch the cross of your legs, less habitual way. And we'll take our twist in the other direction. So left hand comes to that right leg, right hand comes behind. And again, hug the belly in. So think about lifting in and up and finding your twist. And then we're going to take our chin back over to the left. Breathing here. And then nice and slow, take the chin through center all the way over to the right. Think about pressing that right shoulder back. Notice if you're dumping any weight into that right hand. See if you can make it as light as possible. One more breath here. And slowly unwind, come back to center. All right, we're going to come into table. So go ahead and grab a blanket or a towel if you need to pad the knees or the wrists. Okay. We'll come into our table pose. Knees are right under the hips. Hands can be under the shoulders or a little bit forward to take some pressure off the wrists. Spread the fingers, press into all 10 knuckles. And then let's sit the hips back, almost like we're coming into a child's pose, and we're gonna take a rolling cat-cow. So as you come forward, elbows can touch the mat or they don't have to. And you're inhaling up into your cow, belly drops, heart opens, and exhale, round the spine first, draw the chin to chest, and then sit the hips back. And inhale, coming up. And exhale, rounding back. Moving with your own breath now. If this is an uncomfortable cat-cow for you, please find any other version that feels better. Really exploring these sensations in the spine. Taking your time with this. You can stay with this motion or you can begin to find any other organic movement that feels good. Maybe taking the hips side to side and looking over the shoulders. You can circle the hips or you can take drunken cat-cow. Just taking 2 more breaths to explore movement here. And last breath. And then coming back to table. From table, we're gonna curl our toes under and we're gonna send our hips up and back. So we're finding downward dog. Lift from your tailbone here. Imagine pressing your chest back towards your thighs. Elbow creases are turning forward as much as you can. My anatomy doesn't allow me to turn my arms totally forward. But when I start to do that, I feel that activation in the shoulders, which is what you want. Maybe pedal the feet. Taking your dog for a walk, you can send the hips a little side to side. You can shake the head a little, yes and no. Remembering to stay with the breath or come back to it. And then look up at your hands. Either walk up to meet them nice and slow, or you can just step up. Take your feet hip distance apart or wider, bend the knees. Hang forward in your ragdoll, maybe clasp opposite elbows. Maybe find a little sway here. Head and neck are heavy and relaxed. And let's release the hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Hands come to the legs for support. Belly draws in. Exhale, soften and fold. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. 1 more. Inhale, halfway lift. Nice long spine. And exhale, let it go. Bend the knees, really bend them. And start a slow roll up. Press into your heels. Engage the core. Eventually the chin will lift. And go ahead and shake it out if you need to when you arrive. All right. I'm actually going to stand this way, sideways. And from mountain, we're going to inhale, reach the arms up, grab hold of your right wrist, and gently pull it up and over. So we're finding our side bend here. So you're still thinking about opening the heart. You don't have to look up. I prefer actually to keep my head kind of neutral here, but you're pressing that right hip over to the right. And then come back to center. Grab hold of the left wrist, inhale, reach, and press that hip. So we're taking that left wrist over to the right. And inhale back to center. Press the palms together, look up at your hands, and inhale here. Exhale, right hand reaches back, left hand reaches forward. See if you can soften the shoulders here, but keep the arms nice and strong. Inhale, come back up to center, press the palms together, and exhale, other way. So left hand back, right hand forward. Think about lifting the chest, and again, soften the shoulders if you can. And inhale back up to center. And exhale, hands together at the heart. All right. So we're going to step our feet nice and wide. And let's take the right toes to the right. And then check out your feet. Traditionally in yoga, the right heel would be in line with the arch of the left foot. So if that's not comfortable for you, you can play with the alignment if that makes you feel unstable. Maybe taking that right heel up in line with the toes of that left foot, or maybe both heels are in line. You can play with it. So finding that firm and comfortable position, and then notice your hips. We're going to go into warrior two in a moment, but before we do, notice I have a tendency to cock the hip out when I'm in this pose. So that's okay for triangle, but for warrior poses, we want to be stacked through the spine. So the head should be over the heart and shoulders, should be over the hips, and your torso should be facing forward, even though your right toes are facing right. So let's go ahead and find the bend in that right knee. And you're using the strength of the thigh to kind of press that knee open. So it's pointing over the pinky toe. So make sure the knee's not collapsing in over the big toe. You want it over that pinky toe. And then take the arms out, warrior two arms. And then notice if you've already started to lean a little bit, pull it back. So we're stacked in warrior two. And if you'd like, you can stay like this, or you can turn the chin to look over the right arm. Full warrior two, press into both feet. Give it one more breath here. And then press through that right foot to straighten the leg. Let's release the left hand to thigh, and we're going to flip that right palm over. And then send it up. We're coming into our reverse triangle. So notice if you start to crunch immediately in that left side, think about keeping length in both sides. And then come back up with the arms. We're going to come into full triangle now. So now you can cock that hip. Start to send that left hip over to the left as far as you can. Reach forward with that right hand as far as you can. And when you can't go any further, release that hand to the leg. Mine naturally wants to fall on the knee. So I'm going to choose to go above the knee today. You can also go below. And then take that left hand up. So you want that left hand to be straight over the shoulder. So a good way to do that is to think about opening the heart towards the ceiling, and then touch your left hand to your nose and send it straight up. Yeah, perfect. Take one more breath wherever you are. And then as if someone were pulling on that left hand, engage the core, let that bring you back up. And let's heel toe the feet together. Go ahead and shake it out. And let's inhale, reach the arms up. And exhale, hands come together as you fold. Inhale, halfway lift, belly button draws in, nice long spine. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, nice slow roll up. And exhale into your mountain. And let's take the other side. Just a half sun salutation to reset there. Feet nice and wide once more. We're going to take the left toes to the left this time. And again, check out your alignment. So you can fuss with the positioning of that left foot and how it meets up with the right, or how it's lined up with the right. And then notice your hips. I already wanted to stick that right hip out. It just feels more natural for me for some reason. So rein it in. Hips are straight. Torso is straight. So facing forward towards the long side of your mat. And then find that bend in the left knee. It doesn't have to be a huge bend. And press that knee out so it's going in line with that pinky toe, or towards the pinky toe at least. Make sure you're still stacked through the torso, and then take the arms out to the sides. And you can keep the head facing forward if it's more comfortable, or you can turn to look over that left hand. Strong through the spine, strong through the belly and the feet. Take one more breath. And then press through that left foot, straighten the leg. Let's release that right hand down, flip the front palm, and we're coming into our reverse triangle. So remember, think about lengthening both sides of the torso. And just like all our poses, if it's not comfortable to look up at that top hand, you can look straight ahead or even down. One more breath. And then come back up with the arms. We're moving into our triangle. So now start to cock that right hip to the right, pressing it back as you start to reach forward with the left hand, reaching as far as you can go, and then release the hand where it falls. This one's a little lower for me. It may be higher for you. And reach that right hand up. And again, no need to look up if that is hurting your neck or shoulders. You can even look down or straight ahead. If you want to check the alignment of that hand, drop it to the nose and then take it straight up from there. One more breath. And slowly come all the way back up. Heel toe the feet together. Great job, everyone. Go ahead and shake it out if you need to. All right. Let's move into tree. So we're going to start by shifting our weight onto our left foot. So the right side is going to be the one we're lifting. So if you get into this pose at any point and you're feeling off balance today, the nice part about a home yoga practice is that you can always walk over to a wall or a chair. And this in no way means that you're cheating. What you're really doing is you're helping yourself feel the way that the pose is supposed to feel in the body. And you're building your strength so that on another day when you do have better balance, and it changes every day, then you'll know what the pose is supposed to feel like in the body, and you can come into it with or without the wall. So at any point, if you feel unstable, go ahead, grab a wall, even the back of a chair or a couch. So we're going to come up onto those right toes. I'm going to take my right heel against my left leg. So they're touching. And I'm actually going to press them into each other a little bit. So again, think about opening that knee out to the side. You're using your glute muscles to help you do that. So your glutes are going to be really engaged in tree, pressing the tailbone down. And I like to think about it as if I have a zipper starting at my feet, and I'm zipping up through the front of my body. So everything is hugging in towards the center line. My belly is very engaged, my whole core. And you can just stay here, finding one point on the floor to rest the gaze. That's going to help you balance. Maybe this is enough for you. You're still practicing balance here. If you want to go a little further, you can take the bottom of that right foot against the left ankle. And again, remember, you're pressing the legs against each other. Or you can slide it up to right under the knee. You can even take it to above the knee, tucking that right heel against the inside of the left thigh. That doesn't work for my body, but you're welcome to try it. If you fall out, take a moment, steady yourself, come right back in. Hands can stay down, they can come to the heart, or they can lift up. Finding that soft but steady gaze, pressing the foot and leg against each other, hugging that left hip in. Give it one more breath wherever you are. And then slowly start to release. You never want to pop out of it. Release with as much control as you can. And then go ahead and shake out that left leg. And we'll take the other side. So each side is different. This may be the side you need to hold on to something, or it may be the side you're having better balance today. So spread the toes on the right foot. Let's take that left heel up against the right leg and press that left thigh open. Drop the tailbone. Think about zipping up through the body. So find that lift in the spine, but hugging everything in. And if you feel steady here, if you want to go a little further, you can take the bottom of that left foot against the right ankle, or you can slide it up the calf right under the knee, or you can take it even higher if that feels good for you. So you're pressing the foot and leg against each other, not letting that right hip pop out to the side. Hands can stay where they are. They can come together at the heart. Or again, you can lift up. If you're lifting up, really find one point that doesn't move to rest your eyes. Breathing wherever you are, don't forget to breathe. If you fall out, don't worry about it. Come right back in. Take one more breath. And slowly release. Very nice, everyone. Go ahead and shake out that leg. Maybe some hip rolls. Remembering that balancing poses are to help us not take ourselves so seriously. Yoga is a practice. You do not have to be perfect. You're just exploring your body, exploring your breath, exploring where you are each day. All right. So let's inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, hands together as you fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, let it go. Bend the knees, plant the hands, step to downward dog for one breath. Press the chest back towards the thighs, bend the knees if you need to, tailbone lifts. And then release the knees. Find child's pose or puppy posture, any version that feels comfortable for you. Forehead can release to a block or to the mat. Maybe even rocking the head a little gently, side to side. Reconnecting to that slow rhythm of the breath. Take one more breath wherever you are. And then let's walk the hands back. Pressing back up, we're going to come to a seat and go ahead and grab your strap or your strap equivalent, whatever you have at hand. We're going to come to a seat with the legs out in front of us. And then just as we did in the beginning when we were sitting cross-legged, go ahead and lift the sort of fleshier parts of the thighs and the side so you can really feel yourself sitting up on your sit bones. So we're going to do our seated forward fold with the legs extended. So depending on where you want the fold is how much you're going to bend the knees. If you really want to stretch the backs of the legs today, go ahead and keep the knees a little bit straighter. If you're wanting to stretch the low back or to the mid back, go ahead and bend the knees as much as you'd like. So we're going to grab our strap and take it around the bottom of our feet. And it's okay if your legs are not together. It's not super comfortable for me for my legs to be touching in this fold. I like to keep them, maybe about hip distance apart. So whatever is comfortable for you. We're going to flex our feet with the strap around them so my toes are pointing straight up. And we're going to inhale to lengthen the spine. And exhale, start to fold. So hinging forward from the hips, drawing the chest towards the thighs. Knees can absolutely bend. I'm finding a tuck of my chin, even if you're not coming down very far. Still find that tuck of the chin, lengthening the back of the neck. And you can stay here. You can walk the hands further out. If it's more comfortable, you can always release the strap and hold on to your legs. Deep, full breaths into the back body. Feet are still flexed and active. Give it one more breath here. And then draw the belly button towards the spine. From your center, slowly start to roll up. And you can set the strap aside. We're going to be using it when we come down onto our back, so keep it nearby. And then just come to a comfortable seat. So maybe that means cross-legged for you. Maybe your legs are extended in front. You can absolutely sit up on your bolster or your folded towel. So we're going to take the back of the right hand to our low back. So our elbow is going out to the side. And then I'm going to press that elbow down a little bit. So as if I'm reaching my elbow towards the mat. So it's coming a little bit forward and down. And then I'm going to drop my left ear towards my left shoulder. Breathing here. If this is enough, you can stay here. If you'd like, you can take that left hand and gently rest it on the right ear. You're barely pulling. Remembering to press that right elbow down towards the mat. Deep, deep breaths into the neck. Give it one more breath here. And then slowly release the left hand. Go ahead and release the right hand. Take a couple of shoulder rolls here. And we'll switch sides. So back of the left hand comes to the low back now. And press that elbow down towards the mat. So when I say down, it's not so much straight down, it's more forward and down. Almost like I'm reaching my right elbow for my right knee. And then drop that left elbow. One day I'll remember right and left. Drop your right ear over your right shoulder. Breathing into the left side of the neck. And if you'd like, you can sweep those right fingertips up to rest gently on the left ear. You're gently pulling, very, very, very gently. So you're barely pulling. Breathing. Remembering to press that left elbow down. Take one more breath. And then slowly release the right hand. Bring the head back to center. Release the left hand. Take a couple more shoulder rolls. Maybe going in the opposite direction. All right, and then we're going to come down onto our back. So again, keep that strap nearby. If you need any props for Shavasana, go ahead and grab them on the way. And we will meet on our back. So when you arrive on your back, go ahead and take your feet as wide as your yoga mat. Take some windshield wipers with the knees, just gently dropping them side to side. And then coming back to center, taking the feet about hip distance apart. We're going to keep that left knee bent with the left foot on the mat. And we're going to hug the right knee into the chest. So take some ankle circles if that feels good. Make sure you go in both directions. And then we're going to gently press that left foot into the mat for some stability here. And notice if your left knee is dropping out to the left. You want to keep it pointing straight up if you can. And then we're going to start to take some hip circles with that right knee. So we're opening it out to the side and bringing it back to center. Doesn't matter which way you go, we're going to go both ways. And I'm hugging the belly button in a little bit, pressing gently into my left foot for some stability. So I'm really trying to isolate this movement into my right leg. And then reverse whenever you're ready, circling that knee the other way. You can use the hand to guide it, or you don't have to, whatever feels more comfortable to you. And then take that knee back to center. Go ahead and grab your strap. And we're going to take it around the bottom of that right foot. And we're going to reach that right foot up towards the ceiling. So you can have as much of a bend in your knee as you'd like here. So even if your knee is this bent or more, that's totally fine. And you can also straighten as much as you'd like. If you know that your joints hyperextend, please do not lock them. And maybe point and flex the foot. You have to release the give a little bit on the strap to do that. Stretching both sides of the leg. Left knee is still bent. And then go ahead and flex that right foot and gently draw that right leg towards you. So if you're feeling any pain or pinching behind the knee, please bend that right leg more. Breathing here. Give it one more breath. And then if your leg is straight, you can stay where you are. If your leg is bent, go ahead and lower it enough to a point where you can straighten it fully. So we do want the leg to be fully straight here. So if your foot is all the way down here and this is where you can straighten it, that's totally fine. So wherever you are, we're going to, I'm going to take both ends of the strap into my right hand because it makes it a little easier. You'll probably end up using both. Flex that foot. So press the heel up towards the ceiling and then go ahead and take that right foot just a little bit over to the left. You're not going to go very far. You're trying to feel that stretch through the IT band. Breathing wherever you are. And you can keep that left foot on the floor with the leg bent, or you can slide that left leg along. That's going to intensify the stretch, so you may need to lower that right leg a little bit. So I'm barely crossing the midline with my right foot. Both of my hips are still on the mat. And if you find that knee bending, go ahead and release your leg down a little bit so that you can straighten it. Give it one more breath wherever you are. And then go ahead and bend that right knee, rebend the left. Left foot comes to the mat. You can release the strap from the right foot. Go ahead and take that right foot down. Take your feet wide and take those windshield wipers. So dropping the knees back and forth, nice and slow. And we'll move into the other side. So take the feet back to about hip distance apart. Go ahead and hug that left knee into the chest, and we're going to take those ankle circles. Make sure you go in both directions. And then press that right foot gently into the mat, hug the belly button towards the floor. We're going to start to circle that left knee. So opening it out to the side and bringing it back to center. Moving nice and slow. Really controlling this movement, isolating it into that left hip, and reverse the direction whenever you're ready. And then take that left knee back to center. We're going to go ahead and grab our strap again and take it around the bottom of that left foot. And take that foot up towards the ceiling. And to start with here, you can have as much or as little of a bend in that left knee as you'd like. Maybe pointing and flexing the left toes. Staying with your breath. And then flexing that left foot and gently pulling it towards your chest. So again, this is a deep, deep hamstring stretch. So if you're feeling any pain or pinching in the low back or in the knee, please bend that knee more. Your leg does not have to be straight in this pose to get the full benefit. So breathing wherever you are. And now if your leg is bent, go ahead and lower it to wherever it needs to be, where it can be straight. So straightening the leg now, flexing the toes. Right knee can stay bent if you'd like, or you can straighten that leg as well. So you're pulling that left leg as close to you as you can while still keeping the knee bent. You don't want to be feeling any pain. And then you're going to start to cross that left foot over to the right. So my left hip is not lifting here. I'm barely crossing the body. My foot is flexed. And I'm feeling that really strongly in my left hip and in the left side of my left leg. If it's too much, go ahead and release a little bit out of it. Breathing wherever you are. Make sure those left toes are still flexed, pressing that heel up towards the ceiling. Give it one more breath. And then take that left foot back to center, rebend the right, rebend the left. Go ahead and release the strap. You are done with it. You can set it aside. Go ahead and take your feet wide again. Take those windshield wipers one more time. And then hug the knees into the chest. Maybe rock a little side to side. And we're going into a gentle twist, our last pose of the practice. So when you're ready, go ahead and drop the knees over to the right. You can release them to a block if the floor feels far away, or they can just drop to the floor. Left arm can come out to the side, or you can take half cactus on that side with the elbow bent. Breathing wherever you are, letting the knees just release to gravity. Breathing into the left side of the rib cage, that left hip. Give it one more breath here. And then nice and slow, engage the belly. Draw the left knee back to center first and then the right. Maybe rock a little here in center. And when you're ready, we're going to go into the other side. So dropping the knees over to the left, releasing them to the floor or to a block. That right hand can come out all the way to the right, or it can come into a half cactus arm with the elbow bent. Breathing wherever you are. Feeling that space and length in the right side body. Filling that space with the breath. Take one more breath here. And then nice and slow, hug the belly button in. Right knee comes back first and then the left. You can hug the knees into the chest, maybe even peel the nose up towards the knees for one breath. And then release. We're coming into Shavasana, our final resting pose. So take any movement that you might need on the way there, or any other pose. Use any props that you might have or want. Setting up for your final resting pose of the practice. Allowing your body to feel supported by the mat, by whatever props you're using beneath you. When you've found your final pose, go ahead and close the eyes or just soften them. And let's all take a deep, deep, full breath in through the nose. Long sigh out. Deep, deep, full breath down into the belly. Open the mouth, sigh it out. And one last time. Deep, deep, full breath in. And let everything go. Feel your spine begin to release, begin to relax. Feel the whole back body beginning to melt into your mat. Taking a couple deep breaths again if you need to, or letting the breath settle back into its natural rhythm. Feeling the front body softening and opening, shoulders and hips grow heavy, fingers and toes relax. You can even give them a little wiggle here. The back of your head is nice and heavy. Feel your head cradled by the mat. No need to hold any tension at the neck anymore. And giving yourself a few quiet moments here, absorbing your practice, letting it integrate, releasing anything that's no longer serving you. Slowly beginning to notice the rise and fall of your breath. Slowly beginning to deepen it. And once again, noticing the first place that you feel the breath moving in the body. Maybe it's the same place that you felt it in the beginning of practice. Maybe it's a different place, just noticing. Beginning to find any movement that feels good in the fingers and the toes, in the wrists and ankles. Maybe taking a full body stretch if that's calling you, or drawing the knees into the chest. Whenever you're ready, bending the knees, making your way onto one side, and gently using that top arm to press yourself back up to a comfortable seat. Allowing the eyes to soften or close when you arrive. And sitting up nice and tall on your sit bones. If it's comfortable, drawing the hands together at the heart. Sealing in your practice, taking a moment of gratitude to yourself for taking this time, making this space in your schedule to be with your breath, to be on your mat. Hey, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day. Namaste.